Welcome Year 8 to this tutorial on design work. What I've got first of all is some examples of previous work, because when we consider designs we want to see perhaps what has been made. We've already researched Native American culture as well, so it's combining these ideas together to form our own. So taking these images aside now, and you can see that inside your booklet you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 designs that I'd like you to consider. So when designing your own page, use the copper triangle as a template and draw around 6 of those. Then consider carefully the space. Remember, the only copper material will be this size, so try and use as much as you can to economise on the materials that we have in lesson. So say for instance I wanted to do my first design on here based on wisdom, so I'm thinking about colours of blue and so on and so forth. Now if I'm using a lot of blue, I'm going to go for a teardrop shape, so I'm going to try and get the entire teardrop within this triangle. So when sketching out first, I press on very lightly before I'm comfortable with my design, and it won't be till right at the end that I start to finalise this. So this is the design for my pendant. Of course, the pendant's got to hold on to something, so creating a circular hole there will say where the thread is going to be, and I'll come to annotate that later on. So this is going to be our black cord. Inside our pendant, I'm going to have an area over here of blue to symbolise wisdom on there, and then round the outside of this I may have the black to really sort of set it off, or maybe a purple because it's quite harmonious. So I've got that sketched in now, and now it's time to identify some labelling things I want to pick out. So this I'm going to have as black enamel. This centre bit on here I'm going to have as blue enamel, and because I'm going on there trying to get this idea of wisdom through the symbolic nature of blue and how important it was. Following on from that, I'm going to have a centre tier on this one, and in the centre one over here I'm going to have this as purple. Now remember, purple was the most sacred of colours, the rarest of colours, so it was really sort of valued, and I'm going to have purple enamel over there. This section here is a punched hole, and over this section here, which I'm just going to put black cord, and then get that bit labelled up over there. Okay, so far I've got my design. I'm just going to neaten up now the edges to bring it out a bit more. It's quite a simple design. You don't want your designs overcomplicated, because they can be quite difficult to cut out, as you can see from this piece. What I would also like to do in this is take ideas from this. There are some tiny little glass beads in there, so it would be lovely if I could add some of those in. So I'm just going to add some that go round the main design, and those will be melted in the kiln with the enamel. So I'm going to put on there glass beads, and hopefully they'll complement the colours. Next bit, so we probably now want to make this design a bit clearer. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a fine liner. Now quite often designers use fine liners to bring out their work, and they don't just use one pure simple outline, they may use thick and thin lines, so do think about that as you come within creating your own work. So I'm going to put a circle around there, a circle around there, and of course I'm going to thicken this up now, so hopefully you can clearly see where the black cord is going to be sort of tied around about here, and then goes into the pendant, and the back of the cord coming up, and of course going over there to show that 3D. Just going to go around, not the entire of the circle, just a little section, and that shows my first design. Now quite often another technique in design work is segmenting. So I'm going to now take a V section of this work, and within that V section I'm going to add some colours. So here we go. So my plan for this centre piece was going to be blue, and using a bit of gradient shading Year 8, I'm going to take that out and blend that one out, and then a bit darker toward the edge, like that. I know my centrepiece is going to be this purple, so again dark around the edges, softer in the middle. And the outer edge, we can go for, well, the available colour I've got here is yellow, although I didn't say that, so I'll need to find myself some black. But in the meantime, I could just actually use my pencil just to give the indication that that's going to have that on. And again, with the pencil on here, taking those off. Now, a nice complementary colour on this piece would be then to include maybe yellow beads around the outside. So I'm just going to shade that in nicely. So yellow beads on the outside, so where they're just picking up. And that would be a completed design. I'm just going to finish off now by going over that V, so it makes it a little bit clearer, and then work when you do these throughout your entire 6 designs.